Snap out of it, Rich. Fonz is gonna jump over a shark.
Oh, I don't get it.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're looking at the craziest TV backstories that turned out to be bunk and the ones that turned out to be real.
It's just a mistake. Didn't mean anything. Right?
Number 5 myth. Seth MacFarlane resurrected Brian Griffin due to fan pressure. Family Guy. After 12 seasons, the series creator apparently wanted to make a major change. The Griffins' beloved anthropomorphic dog Brian is killed in a devastating car accident.
I'm so sorry, Mrs. Griffin, but Brian's injuries are just too severe for us to save him. I don't know how much longer he has, but I suggest that you all go in and say your goodbyes.
Creator and voice actor Seth MacFarlane knew the moment would be a shocker, but he didn't realize he was kicking a hornet's nest. Fans revolted and grieved as if their own pet had died. Petitions were started to bring the character back.
You find the man who did this.
Ma'am,
You
what's
bring
your
him
relationship
to justice.
to Brian?
You make sure this
Are you sure
angel
you're at the
child
right
didn't die
funeral?
for nothing.
Ma'am,
you show
Brian's
the
a
world why
dog.
you became a cop.
2 episodes later, the show reversed course and Brian was resurrected through a time travel storyline, leading many to think the fan reaction was responsible. MacFarlane dispelled that rumor, saying that this was the plan all along. After all, it's not like they could have written an animated Brian's Return episode in just a couple of weeks.
You know, a lot of other families would have just gotten a different dog and moved on.
We could never do something like that, Brian.
Number 5 true. John Amos was fired from Good Times for questioning producers. Good Times. For the first 3 seasons, patriarch James Evans Sr. steered his family through storylines about poverty, violence, and job security. In the heartbreaking 2-part 4th season premiere, James is written out when his character is killed in a car accident off-screen.
Thelma, Michael, now there are some things you don't understand.
When actor John Amos left the series in 1976, producers initially explained his absence by saying he had gone on to pursue other roles. This turned out to be a cover.
The writers, some of them, became incensed that I was of the opinion that I knew more about a black father than they did.
Amos, along with co-lead Esther Roll, were becoming displeased with the show's depiction of an African-American family, particularly the antics of the eldest son, J.J. Evans. In fact, Amos had confrontations with several writers on the show. Executive producer Norman Lear informed him he was being fired ahead of the 4th season.
I let that register for a minute. He said, "You still there?" I said, "Yeah, I'm here, Norman. Well, don't you want to say something?" He said, "What can I say? It's your show. Have a good life." Click. And that was it. I was going to be, recalcitrant to the end. You won't get me to roll over and cry for the job. No, forget you, man.
Number 4 myth. JazaGabbors' saucy appearance. The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. For years, Johnny Carson was renowned for his wicked double entendres. One such alleged one-liner involved actress JazaGabbors, who reportedly brought her cat along for her guest spot on The Tonight Show. Carson's alleged response to a seemingly innocuous question became legend.
She said to you, "Do you want to pet my pussy?" And my son said that you said, "I'd love to if you'd remove that damn cat."
During her 1989 appearance on the show, actress Jane Fonda decided to clear things up for everyone and ask the host about it outright. Carson denies it.
I tell you,
Is it true?
No, I think I would recall that.
People have tried locating this clip, but never found it, and doubt it ever really happened at all. The fact Carson managed to stay on the air seems like further proof that it's a fabrication.
Are there any questions? Yeah. Oh, shut up. We'll be right back.
Number 4 true. Susan was written off because she was difficult to work with. Seinfeld. Marriage with George Costanza was never going to work.
Was I going to marry her? Was she going to leave me? Was I going to leave her? Those are the only 3 possibilities, right? That's the only... They found a 4th.
Seinfeld was a show about people who refused to change and grow. George's engagement to Susan Ross ended in the most Seinfeld way possible. After settling for cheap glue to mail their wedding invitations, Susan dies from a toxic reaction.
I'm so sorry, George.
Yeah, me too.
Poor Lily.
For a long long time, rumors persisted that the actress who played her, Heidi Swedberg, was written out because the cast didn't like her. This wasn't the whole story. However, Jason Alexander confirmed that he found her hard to play off of, as did the rest of the cast. This contributed to the decision to kill the character off. Alexander insists Swedberg is a good performer, but the chemistry didn't work.
I've seen her do other things where I thought, that's really good. There was something in the dynamic between her as Susan and me as George. I couldn't ever comfortably find my way. And it created something wonderful. So maybe that's exactly what it was meant to be.
Number 3 myth. The Sixth Doctor pushed 2 enemies into acid. Doctor Who.
I know perfectly well what category of disaster has befallen us.
The comparator?
No, not this time.
The Doctor may be an interdimensional time traveler in constant battle for the fate of the universe, but generally, he's not a cold-blooded killer. In a case of the Mandela effect that only afflicts Doctor Who fans, the Sixth Doctor is misremembered as more vicious than his counterparts.
You even managed to burn dinner last night.
Well, I have never said I was perfect.
If you recall, last night I was supposed to have a cold supper.
That was an unfortunate accident.
In a scene from the episode Vengeance on Varos, we see the Doctor accidentally scaring 2 of his captors and causing them to fall to their deaths in an acid bath. Some viewers swear he pushed one of them. Now that we have the benefit of going back and watching the scene, we can see that's not the case. He doesn't do much to save them from an agonizing death, though.
Forgive me if I don't join you.
Number 3 true. Ross saying Rachel was based on a real mistake. Friends.
Hi, Ross.
Hi, Ross. Take the Emily. Take the Rachel.
Ross and Rachel had one of the most iconic will they or won't they storylines in sitcom history. One of the most famous scenes on Friends sees Ross marrying Emily, but accidentally saying Rachel's name. It was the cliffhanger that had everyone talking. It actually came to the writers late in the game.
We knew Rachel was going, and I remember we were banging our heads against what was she going to do? Like, was she going to stop it?
Actor David Schwimmer had made that exact slip-up in a previous scene, mixing up the characters' names. Writer Greg Malins describes the aha moment he had in response. Noting how they had no idea how Rachel should factor into Ross's wedding, the writer revealed that Schwimmer's mistake was the solution they needed.
His line was to come in and say, Emily, the cab is downstairs waiting, something like that. And he walked in and said, Rachel, the cab is downstairs. Okay, sorry, let me take it again. And he went out. And I remember I was standing next to David Crane. I said, that's it.
Number 2 myth. The Simpsons predicted 9/11. The Simpsons. Much has been made of the long-running animated comedy's seemingly eerie ability to predict future events. While the writers of the show always sought to make some commentary about what the future might hold, a 1997 episode features a bizarre image.
Dad, you got a letter from the city of New York.
Pfft, throw it away. Nothing good has ever come out of New York City.
Lisa Simpson is trying to convince her family to take a trip to the Big Apple. She holds up a $9 brochure that features the Twin Towers, and viewers note that it looks like it's spelling out 9/11.
We could all go with the bus company's special Super Sitter fare.
$9? This one's on me.
Great! We're all going to New York!
Some of the more fanciful internet users even insist it's evidence of a full-blown conspiracy. In reality, it's just an unfortunate coincidence blown way out of proportion.
Can we come back next year, Dad?
We'll see, honey.
Number 2 true. An episode of Pokémon made children sick. Pokémon. On December 16, 1997, the episode Den no Senshi Porygon aired and suddenly became the subject of intense public scrutiny. A climactic scene at the end of the episode sees Pikachu using an attack illustrated with quick flashing lights. This posed a problem for photosensitive young viewers. Over 600 Japanese children were taken to hospitals with illnesses after the episode aired.
Often those affected had no history of epilepsy. More children had fits when excerpts were replayed on the news. Doctors said victims were shocked into a kind of hypnotic trance.
Reported symptoms were as varied as seizures to nausea, but the overall explanation appears to have been a mass hysteria that rolled into the days following the episode's airing. This snowballed into a panic over the show itself, leading to a months-long hiatus for the program and a permanent shelving of the offending episode. Number 1 myth. Happy Days jumped the shark. Happy Days.
Shark. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Stupid, yes. Also dumb, but it's something I gotta do.
Ask anybody, and they'll say this nostalgic 70s sitcom was basically undone by the Fonz jumping over a live shark while on water skis. Since this now infamous episode, the phrase jump the shark has been used to denote a show past its prime and on the way to cancellation. Ironically, though, this episode aired less than halfway through the series' run.
We did it. Yeah, you did the challenge. Yeah. but what did you really win?
Outlandish as the scene may be, Happy Days hadn't jumped the shark at all. In fact, the show was still at its peak as far as ratings go, and would run for multiple seasons afterwards.
Now, you have to understand, we were number 1 for like 6 years after that, so nobody else thought we jumped the shark.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1 true. Curb Your Enthusiasm exonerated a murder suspect. Curb Your Enthusiasm. Most of the time, Larry David's comedy series doesn't look on humanity that fondly. But lo and behold, the show about a people-hating misanthrope ended up saving an innocent man.
As we were heading back to our seats, we noticed that there were some cameras blocking our aisle.
So I come into the room, and within a minute of me entering the room, the lawyer jumps up and goes, there he is, that's the guy.
John Catalan was charged with murder, but he swore he was at a Dodgers game at the time. His lawyers decided to see if any footage of the game had captured him in the crowd.
I went to the media organization and asked them if there was any video that could have been shot on that particular night. And they looked through some logs and they saw that a production company had shot there that night, and it was actually in our section, and they gave me the phone number.
Luckily, Curb Your Enthusiasm had filmed portions of a season 4 episode, The Carpool Lane, at Dodger Stadium that same day. Out of 40,000 attendees, their cameras happened to capture Catalan literally feet away from the show's star.
I remember calling Todd, and he was just like, I could picture his face with a big Kool-Aid smile on his face, you know, and he was just like, you're on the tape, you're on the tape. And I jumped up, I let go of the phone, and just, you know, everybody was like, what the?
After some difficulty with the prosecutors, the charges against Catalan were dropped. Did any of these behind-the-scenes stories surprise you? Tell us in the comments.
It's a strange universe out there. Maybe Larry's just tied into it more than we know he is.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.